I stood in my own doorway holding a certified envelope worth $30 million. Through the half-open bedroom door, I could hear my husband's voice. Clear. Casual. Once she signs it, we split it down the middle. She trusts you completely. My sister laughed, that high, nervous laugh she does when she's lying. I didn't move. The envelope felt heavy. Wrong. I could see their shadows on the hallway wall. Neither of them knew I was there. The air smelled like her perfume. Expensive, the kind I couldn't afford. My hand was still on the doorknob. I didn't let go. I met Marcus 6 years ago at a company fundraiser. He worked in finance. Confident, charming, the kind of person who remembers your name after one conversation. We got married 2 years later in a small ceremony. My sister Claire was my maid of honor. She cried during the vows. I thought it was because she was happy for me. Claire was always the prettier one, the one people noticed first. Growing up, I got used to being the dependable sister, the one who helped with her rent when she got laid off, the one who co-signed her lease when her credit was bad. She called me her rock. I believed her. Marcus and Claire got along well. Too well, maybe, but I pushed that thought away every time it surfaced. They'd grab coffee sometimes. She'd text him about surprise party ideas for my birthday. He'd help her move furniture. Normal family things. I told myself I was lucky they didn't hate each other. The lottery ticket was random. I bought it on a Tuesday at the gas station near work. $5. I didn't even check the numbers until 3 days later. When I saw the amount, I had to sit down on the kitchen floor. $30 million. After taxes, around $18 million. Life-changing money. I told Marcus that morning before work. He stared at me for a long time. Then he picked me up and spun me around. We made plans. Vague, excited plans. Pay off the house. Travel. Maybe start the nonprofit he'd always talked about. He kissed my forehead and told me he was proud of me. I felt like the luckiest person alive. I called Claire next. She screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. Oh my God, oh my God, you deserve this. You deserve everything. She asked if she could come over that evening to celebrate. I said yes. Of course yes. The lottery office appointment was scheduled for 2 p.m. They'd verify the ticket and issue the official payout process. I was supposed to be gone until 5, but the verification took 20 minutes instead of 3 hours. They were efficient, professional. By 3:30, I was walking back to my car with the certified envelope and a head full of instructions about financial advisors and tax attorneys. I decided to surprise Marcus, come home early, maybe open a bottle of wine, celebrate properly. I pulled into the driveway at 3:45. Claire's car was there, silver Honda. I didn't think much of it. She'd probably come early to help set up for tonight. I used my key quietly, not sneaking, just not announcing myself. The house was still. Then I heard his voice from the bedroom, our bedroom. Once she signs it, we split it down the middle. I froze. Claire's voice, lighter, almost playful. You're sure she won't suspect anything? She trusts you completely, and she thinks I'm obsessed with her. We just need to be patient. Maybe another year. A year? Long enough that it looks real, then I'll file irreconcilable differences. By then, half of $18 million is mine anyway. You help me hide assets now, we can move $9 million offshore before she even knows what's happening. Silence. Then Claire laughed, that same nervous laugh. What do I get? $3 million, for your trouble, and my eternal gratitude. Make it 4. Deal. I stood there, the envelope in my hand, my keys still hanging from the lock. I couldn't hear anything except the blood rushing in my ears. I backed out of the house the same way I came in. Slow, silent. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the keys. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, maybe longer. I couldn't think. I couldn't process what I'd just heard. Then I started remembering things. 6 months ago, Marcus suggested I put both our names on the lottery ticket if I ever won, just in case something happens to you. Legal protection. I laughed it off, told him he was being paranoid. He dropped it, but he brought it up again 2 months later, casual, over breakfast. A year ago, Claire asked if Marcus and I had a prenup. I said no. She nodded, said something about how trust was more important than paperwork. I agreed. I actually agreed. 3 years ago, I lent Claire $8,000 for a business opportunity. She never paid me back. When I asked about it, she cried, said she was struggling, said she'd get it to me eventually. Marcus told me to let it go. Family is more important than money. I let it go. 2 years ago, Marcus started working late, 3 nights a week, sometimes 4. He said his boss was demanding. I believed him. I always believed him. I sat in that car and I saw it all. The pattern, the setup. How long had they been planning this? Since before the lottery? Or did the lottery just speed up a timeline that was already in motion? I thought about Claire crying at my wedding. Maybe she wasn't happy for me. Maybe she was already measuring what she could take. I thought about Marcus spinning me around this morning, kissing my forehead, telling me he was proud. He wasn't proud of me. He was relieved. The waiting was almost over. My phone buzzed. Marcus. Hey babe, what time will you be home? Claire's here. We're setting up a surprise for you. I stared at the text. A surprise. Right. I texted back, running late, probably 6. Don't wait for me. He sent back a heart emoji. I drove to a coffee shop 3 blocks away, ordered something I didn't drink, sat in a corner booth and opened my laptop. I pulled up our bank accounts, joint checking, joint savings. The mortgage was in both names, so was the car lease. Everything tied together. Clean. Legal. Exactly the way Marcus had suggested we set it up when we got married. I looked at Claire's social media, photos of her and Marcus at my birthday dinner last year, the 2 of them laughing at some inside joke, comments from friends, cutest family, lucky girl to have such a supportive sister and husband. I scrolled back further, a photo from 3 years ago, Claire and Marcus at a work event I couldn't attend, his arm around her shoulders, her leaning into him. I'd seen this photo before. I'd even liked it. Looking back, the signs were always there. I just didn't want to see them. I closed the laptop, finished my coffee. It was cold. I didn't care. At 5:30, I texted Marcus. On my way. I drove home slowly, parked in the driveway next to Claire's Honda, took 3 deep breaths, grabbed the envelope, walked inside. They were in the living room. Balloons, a homemade banner that said congratulations, a bottle of champagne on ice. Claire ran up and hugged me. Marcus kissed my cheek. How'd it go? He asked. His smile was perfect, warm, genuine looking. I held up the envelope. Official, $18 million after taxes. Claire squealed. Marcus pulled me close. I'm so proud of you. I smiled, hugged him back, let Claire pop the champagne. We toasted, laughed, made plans we'd never follow through on, and I didn't say a word. The next morning, Marcus suggested we meet with his financial advisor, someone I trust completely. He'll help us manage everything properly. He squeezed my hand across the breakfast table. I nodded, said that sounded smart. I called the lottery office instead, asked about claiming options. They explained I could claim individually or jointly. Individual meant the money was mine alone, protected. They asked if I wanted to add anyone to the claim. I said no. I signed the paperwork that afternoon. Alone. Individual claim, my name only. Then I called a divorce attorney, not someone local, someone 3 towns over that Marcus would never know. Her name was Rebecca Chen. She had good reviews, specialized in high-asset cases. I told her everything, the conversation I'd overheard, the timeline, the joint accounts. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, "Don't tell him you've claimed the money yet. Don't sign anything he puts in front of you. Don't make any sudden moves." I asked how long I had to wait. Until we have everything documented. A week, maybe 2. Can you do that? I said yes. That week was the longest of my life. Marcus kept talking about our money, our future. He'd researched investment properties, showed me spreadsheets, asked me to add him to the lottery account for security purposes. I told him the paperwork was still processing. He seemed satisfied. Claire came over twice, brought takeout, talked about how this money would change everything for all of us. She mentioned needing a new car, maybe a down payment on a condo. Just a loan, she said. Family helps family. I smiled, said we'd talk about it once everything was finalized. On day 8, Marcus showed me a document, post-nuptial agreement. Just to protect both of us, he explained. Make sure everything's fair if anything ever happens. The document stated all assets acquired during marriage would be split 50-50, including lottery winnings, including future earnings. He handed me a pen. I looked at the paper, at his expectant face, at the pen. I need to read through it, maybe have someone look at it. His smile tightened, just slightly. Of course, take your time. That night, I sent the document to Rebecca. She called me an hour later. This would give him half of everything, even money you won before signing. Don't sign this, under no circumstances. I asked what I should do. File, tomorrow. I'll have the papers ready by noon. I couldn't sleep that night. Marcus wrapped his arm around me, kissed my shoulder, whispered he loved me. I stared at the ceiling until sunrise. The next morning, I told him I had errands to run. He was working from home. Claire was coming over for lunch. They'd have the house to themselves. I met Rebecca at her office, signed the divorce papers, filed them electronically. The court accepted them at 2:15 p.m. Marcus would be served at home within 3 hours. I didn't go back. I drove to a hotel, checked in under my name, turned off my phone, and waited. Marcus called 47 times that first night. Claire called 16. I didn't answer. I sat in that hotel room and watched the sun go down through unfamiliar windows. Ordered room service I barely touched. The silence felt clean. Rebecca called the next morning. He's requesting an emergency hearing. Claims you're hiding marital assets. The lottery winnings are documented as individual claim filed before separation. They have no legal argument. Judge denied the request. I asked about Claire. Not relevant to the divorce, but if you want to pursue the conspiracy to commit fraud, we can discuss that separately. I thought about it. Then I said no. Let them have each other. The divorce took 6 weeks. Marcus fought everything, demanded half the lottery money, claimed emotional distress. His lawyer argued we'd made plans together, that the ticket was purchased with joint account funds, that I'd promised to share. Rebecca presented the recording I didn't know I needed. I'd gone back that first day after filing, stood outside my own bedroom door with my phone recording, asked them to repeat their plan. They did. Laughing, comfortable. Marcus's lawyer went silent. We settled. He got nothing from the lottery. We split the house equity and the joint savings, $4,000, his half. Claire called me once during the proceedings. I answered. I don't know what you think you heard. I hung up. She sent an email 3 days later, long, rambling, about misunderstandings and context and how I was overreacting, how family was supposed to forgive, how Marcus had actually been trying to protect me from financial advisors who might take advantage. I deleted it without finishing. The final papers came through on a Tuesday, same day of the week I'd bought the lottery ticket. I signed them in Rebecca's office. She shook my hand, told me I'd handled everything with remarkable calm. I didn't feel calm. I felt empty, but empty was better than what I'd felt standing in my doorway 2 months ago. I bought a small house outside the city, 2 bedrooms, quiet neighborhood, the kind of place where people don't ask questions. I furnished it slowly, 1 room at a time. Everything new, nothing from before. Marcus moved in with Claire 6 weeks after the divorce. I saw it on social media. Someone tagged them in a photo at a restaurant. They looked happy. Maybe they were. Maybe they deserved each other. I deleted my social media accounts the next day. Last week, I started volunteering at a literacy program downtown, teaching adults to read. It's small, quiet. Nobody there knows about the lottery. Nobody asks. Yesterday, I bought coffee at a new place near my house. The barista asked my name for the order. I hesitated. Then I gave it, my real name. It felt strange saying it out loud, like I was introducing myself to someone for the first time. She wrote it on the cup, spelled it right.